Hey, what is going on guys? My name is Gamertag and I'm back for another Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a complete guide for all of the week 1 challenges in Season 3. In fact, by the time I'm recording this, Season 3 has only been out for a couple of hours, and this guide alone will share with you guys the most efficient way to complete all of these challenges in a very short amount of time. So the first challenge we're going to be hopping into is to deal damage to the loot sharks located in Sweaty Sands. Obviously, we want to go ahead and land to Sweaty Sands, which is actually located right over here on the map. The number one thing you want to make sure you do is that you get a pretty decent landing, and you want to make sure you grab an item as quickly as you can. After doing this, make sure of course there's nobody around you that'll create any obstacles or try to eliminate you when you're trying to complete this challenge. There's two options you can do from here. You can simply walk around the edge or perimeter of the Sweaty Sands island, or you can also get into a boat and just keep driving around the island over and over again until you see one of these loot sharks. Basically, the only way to detect them is by their fins that are sticking out of the water. From here, you just want to take as many shots on them as you possibly can in the shortest amount of time. Do be aware that they actually jump out of the water onto land and deal a significant amount of damage, so make sure you're staying out of its way to the best of your ability. You guys can see here, I did actually end up running out of ammo, but just barely was able to deal enough damage for me to complete the challenge. I believe you only need to actually deal 200 damage, which theoretically speaking is not much at all. And it's also worth mentioning that you need to be located on the Sweaty Sands island, otherwise it actually won't go towards your challenge. The first time I tried completing it, I was on a boat right outside of the island and it didn't give me any progress, so do again make sure you are located on the island when dealing the damage. Next is going to be find gnomes at Homely Hills. You only need to find 3 and they pretty much spawn in the same spots every single time. So Homely Hills is actually way above here, kind of above where Pleasant Park is. And basically there's 3 houses that have the gnomes located at them. The first one is actually going to be right here towards the top right corner of Homely Hills Island. So this gnome is actually going to be located in the living room area. The second one is going to be at the very northern house right here. You guys can see kind of like a teal color. This gnome is actually going to be located in the roof, kind of tucked in the corner. Now the third and final gnome in the Homely Hills Island is at the top left house, this red house. There's actually going to be 2 of them that you can search. You can kind of search whichever one you'd like. It doesn't really make a difference. One actually spawns right here by this big tree outside of the house, and then the other one is actually at the back area, kind of grilling on the grill in the backyard. So again, you can either grab the one by the tree or search the one in the backyard by the grill. It doesn't make a difference. And of course, once you search a total of 3, you've now completed this challenge as well. This now leads us to the third challenge of today's video, and this one is to deal damage within 10 seconds of landing from the Whirlpool at Hydro 16. So basically Hydro 16 is right here on the map, as you guys can see, and there's always going to be this Whirlpool sitting right here. So you guys, what you need to do is you want to jump inside of it. Essentially what it will do from here is spring you way into the air. At the very peak, you want to pull your glider and try to find the nearest player that you can. For me, I ended up landing on a player that was driving towards it on a boat. And again, you need to at least deal damage within 10 seconds. So you don't have to do it immediately, but do make sure you do it as quickly as possible. And considering the fact that Hydro 16 is located kind of near the middle of the map, it's not that difficult to find an opponent to deal damage on. In fact, I did it also at the main Whirlpool. You guys can see I did the exact same method. I shot into the air, found a boat that was driving towards it, and I ended up landing on their boat and dealing damage to them. So you guys can use that method of landing on a boat if that opportunity does present itself. Otherwise, you can easily just land at one of the point of interest like Lazy Lake, Misty Meadows, Salty Springs, whatever the case might be, and just find someone and deal damage to them. This challenge is not as difficult as it might seem. Now, the fourth challenge of today's video is to enter the Catty corner vault. Now, this one's actually probably the most difficult out of all 6 of the week 1 challenges, but certainly not as difficult as you guys might think. So the Catty corner vault is actually located over right here. So I unfortunately had this as like kind of the hot drop in a sense, so there was a lot of players here. But typically, if this isn't your hot drop, then don't expect a lot of players to be here. So this challenge isn't that difficult unless it is the hot drop. Basically, you want to land and try to find an item as quickly as possible. You can disguise yourself as well. It obviously makes this challenge probably like 10 times easier than what it would be if you weren't disguised. And you simply want to go ahead and take out these henchmen one by one. And just like any other area where there's vaults, especially in the previous season, you want to go ahead and find the boss. I believe this one's name is Kit or Kip, and you want to go ahead and eliminate him, take his key card, and enter the vault. Now for me, unfortunately, well, not necessarily unfortunately, someone else actually opened the vault before me. So I spent majority of my time trying to find Kit, but he was already eliminated and somebody had already opened the vault. So if you can't find Kit, it's likely because someone's already eliminated him, but that really doesn't matter whatsoever, because as long as you enter the vault, you don't have to be the one that opens it, you will still be able to complete this challenge. So after about like 4 or 5 minutes of me trying to find where the key card was, I came to the realization that the vault was already opened. I ran over there, went inside, and I was able to complete this challenge, which I found to be relatively easy. So the 5th challenge is probably the easiest out of all of them, and this is to search 7 chests or ammo boxes in Rickety Rig. So this is actually going to be located kind of over here to the left of Misty Meadows. Basically all of these kind of surrounding isolated islands that kind of look the same as Rickety Rig are part of the Rickety Rig location. So you don't have to land on the middle area, you can land on all the surrounding islands and just go through them and try to find as many chests and ammo boxes as you possibly can. I literally went through only one of these isolated islands and was able to complete the challenge. I was able to open 7 chests and ammo boxes respectively, and again, this is probably the easiest challenge out of all 7 of them. It's quite self-explanatory, to be quite honest. As long as you're able to hear where the chests are and you're able to be relatively smart to find where the ammo boxes are going to be located, you should have no difficulty completing this challenge whatsoever. Now onto the 6th challenge of today's video. This is going to be to eliminate 3 people at Steamy stacks. Also a very easy challenge. So there's not much to it other than just to land as quickly as you can, try to get an item before anybody else, and then just obviously get 3 eliminations. I was able to get 2 eliminations on my first try, but unfortunately everybody in Steamy stacks was coming for me. But then the second time that I tried, I had a little bit better of a method where I actually went on top of one of the stacks, got an AR, and just took shots at people down below and was able to get a very easy elimination, allowing me to get my final and 3rd elimination to complete the challenge. So now the 7th and final challenge of the week 1 of season 3 is to land at Misty Meadows and finish top 25. This one, honestly, I would say is about normal difficulty. Realistically, shouldn't take you more than 2 tries at all. So basically what I did is I landed at Misty Meadows, obviously. I was able to get a weapon as quick as possible, and basically only one person even got near me. However, he didn't even have an item to defend himself. So basically what I did was I got the elimination, and honestly I try to play it safe and be time efficient. I didn't want to go out there, try to get eliminations and waste a lot of my time and have to restart if I got eliminated. So what I did is I went to this little cabin or lodge by the water, and I just sat in the roof. Literally, by the time the storm was coming in, I was already in top 25, and that's all you realistically have to do to complete this challenge. Again, you don't have to necessarily play the same way that I did. You don't have to be very passive. You can play normally, push people, get as many eliminations as you like. It doesn't really matter as long as you place in top 25. I just found it easier to kind of play extremely passive, sit in the roof of this building, watch a couple YouTube videos, and by the time, again, the storm was even getting near me, I was already in top 25. And also, as the challenge suggests, you do have to finish in top 25. So you can go ahead and eliminate yourself by jumping off a high area, or as long as you get eliminated by somebody else or even win the game, then basically you've completed this challenge, this being the final challenge of season 3 week 1 challenges. So if you guys have made it this far and followed every single guide that I've given you for all of these challenges, you probably should have had no difficulty at all completing all of the week 1 challenges. Obviously, this is a very efficient way to get a ton of XP and rank up through the battle pass as quickly as possible. So now if you guys found today's video helpful or enjoyable, a like would be beyond appreciated down below. And of course, on the contrary, if you genuinely disliked today's video, then by all means, feel free to leave a dislike as well. Let me know what you guys think about the brand new season in Fortnite. For me, I think it's a bit different, but I certainly do not think it's a terrible update by any means. And also, if you guys would like to see more Fortnite content like this in the future, feel free to subscribe as well as turning on those post notifications. Nonetheless, my name is Gamertag. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Adios.